Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about the 6th month of being a dad. I'll just start off by saying I have my son next to me and he's kind of making a lot of noise, but I've been having trouble recording videos the last couple of months just because I've been busy with him and work and everything like that. Some other things going on in life. So I'm just going to try to record more videos when I can, even if it's not, I'm alone and it's silent and things like that. So I apologize if he's sort of yelling in the background or something like that. But yeah, overall, I would say the 6 months it's going well, but like I said, there's been some challenges, and the biggest thing I would say is just time management at this point. And the second biggest thing would be, which I'm going to talk about in this video today, is the fact that things have changed for me when it comes to my level of anxiety, I think generally in life, and a lot of it's driven by my son directly, just worrying about him, but also having more stability in life. Throughout my life, I've started different businesses. Here he goes, you can probably hear him. I've started different businesses. I've had times where I have not been doing well financially. I've been had to spend more on basic things than my income. I've lived in different countries where I travel back and forth for like a couple months here, a couple months there, sort of thing. And hopefully it's not too loud. And I've never really experienced too much anxiety. I've definitely experienced a lot of frustration over some of these things. I guess anger, like mild anger at times. Certainly plenty of frustration and a little bit of anxiety, but it's really ramped up and is affecting my sleep, affecting my ability to function properly in life, I would say, compared to what I used to be. I don't think my anxiety is way more than like your average parent or average dad would be. I just think I was more risk tolerant beforehand, like willing to live in other countries, not having health insurance there potentially, starting businesses where it's like I'm investing money and time and not really getting much out of it besides like maybe one or two of the businesses. And I never really had a problem with it. In fact, it was something that motivated me, and it kind of made me excited to get up in the morning and live life that I was slightly living on the edge, I guess. I never did anything too crazy. I was always doing things with high upside and low downside, so I was never risking an enormous amount of money or time on any one thing per se, but I was willing to explore the world, willing to take calculated risks, and now I feel like that's reduced significantly. The only entrepreneurial thing I'm doing right now is this YouTube channel, which doesn't really have much of an investment, and there's no timetable on it. There's no thing kind of pushing me to do more and more. As I alluded to, I probably made one video in the last month and a half. Um, and that psychologically is weird to adapt to, right? Like when you essentially become a totally different person, it seems crazy because like something that was fundamental to my personality is now completely different, and it's systemically affecting lots of parts of my life. It's not just one isolated thing. So my anxiety relating to say like work and my relationships with other people and obviously my son and my relationship with my wife, I would say, are all different because of that. Um, there's more challenges. There's more challenges overall, I would say. There are some advantages, obviously. um, the anxiety is partially caused by my wanting to have stability in life for my son, and obviously having stability can be beneficial for me as well, and mitigating risk can be a good thing. Obviously, if taking a risk works out, that's great, but oftentimes it does not. So the fact that I may be more risk averse, over the next 10 or 15 years will probably benefit me in some ways for sure, but the transition over this period has been tough. And I think some of what I've been feeling and some of the maybe mixed feelings or lack of sleep that I've attributed just because I have a young son, young baby, that sort of thing, maybe actually coming from my mindset in life changing so drastically. And I think it was just the last month or so that I started realizing that. Um, and so I guess this is more of a self-reflective video. I'm hoping other people can relate to it to some degree and take something from it, whether it be just your mindset change after you have a child, or other things, just self-reflecting on your own life a little bit more. When you think maybe it's one thing, but actually it's another, because sometimes you can go down a path of trying to fix something that isn't actually the underlying cause. and you can waste a lot of time and energy and money, um, whether that be a health issue or, like I said, something directly related to what I'm talking about today. So, with that said, the things I'm going to do to try to mitigate the issue are, I think, getting maybe a little bit in touch with religion. It's something that I've definitely struggled with. I would say I have a brain that really struggles to believe in God in this sort of monotheistic traditional sense of it. I've tried many times to, read about different religions, go to church because I live in an area where that's the major religion that people would go to and things like that. And my wife, I would say, is religious, and maybe I'm religious like a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10, and she might be like a 4 out of 10. So she's not super religious. She doesn't have to go like worship with other people and things like that. But I would say she does genuinely believe in God, and that's something that I'm trying to get into as well. If nothing else, just think about, the universe is big and there's limitless possibilities, and you're just this tiny little dot, and you can't really take your life too seriously in that regard. And it can put things into perspective. Obviously, doing a little bit of meditation or experimenting with legal drugs that, could potentially help sort of calm you down a little bit, or things like that. I live in Massachusetts, so things like marijuana are legal. Yeah, overall, I realize that this could partially be a temporary thing, which I think is important to realize, that you're going through different periods or seasons in your life, and that the way you feel now or the things going on won't last forever. So I'm also realizing that I need to put things into perspective, to not just say I'm too anxious, so I need to become less anxious. That would be oversimplifying it, but rather also realizing that this is probably just a temporary thing, and I just kind of need to get through the next maybe 3 to 5 years. And when I feel a certain level of anxiety, if it goes above a certain amount, I know it's probably irrational. And I've also noticed that my anxiety about one thing can cause anxiety about many things. So I'm anxious about him, or like, if my wife or I are gonna like lose our job and income goes down, or whatever I'm worried about, or you could be worried about, all of a sudden I'm worried that like I'm gonna drop my glasses and step on them, and for the next week or two I'm not gonna be able to like see very well or read very well or something like that. So I think for me, it's not being less anxious about the things that are the like initial thing to be anxious about, because oftentimes there is a good reason for that, but rather to put in perspective the other things going around in my life, that I'm more anxious about something that's completely irrelevant, just because my anxiety about something that actually is kind of important elevates a lot. I don't know if everyone's like that, but I have noticed in my life that that's what happens, especially reflecting back on it, for sure. So thanks again for listening, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.